Hey guys, welcome to another WoW Weekly with Myst, and for this week we have the Battlegrounds will be the weekly, PvP Brawl will be Warsong Scramble, we will have Dark Moon Fair on Sunday, and Season 4 starts up this week. I'm gonna go into a little more detail on that later on in the video, but for now, that is the list of the weekly events. In some Dragonflight news, we have some new dungeon armor models. So this is for cloth, leather, mail, and plate wearers. And here is also some tab designs. These will be obtained through reputations. Some are obtained through the Dracthyr, then also Dark Moon Fair. And right here is some of the backpack models you'll be able to acquire in Dragonflight. There's also going to be quite a few eagle mounts. Okay, so we have some more profession equipment stuff. So this is engineer. This looks really good. I really like this. Yeah, and the helmet looks really nice. Those are very cool. Yeah, I'm really liking the engineer one. I think they did a good job on that one. Okay, next we have enchanting. This is the one I've been waiting for. Of course it would have been one of the last ones they show. So let's see what they did with enchanting. I really like this. I think this is awesome. Yeah, I love the little engravings on it, and yeah, the glove looks cool, but the hat, I feel like we could have done something different with the hat, and I only say that because the alchemist is wearing kind of a wizard type hat as well. So something a little different. Like, I get that it has a different shaping to it and all that, but something a little different would have been cool. But everything else I'm liking so far. Yeah. Okay, and the last one I have to show you for this week is the cooking profession equipment. This so far looks really cool. I like that he's got the rolling pin in his hand, and that hat is just out there, right? Like, not only is it a chef hat, but it's tall. Yeah. I really like the white one. Yeah. Okay, we're back to the first page. So yeah, the cooking one, pretty simple. You know, it's basically just the hat and the rolling pin, but not bad. Yeah, I like it. You know, it's what you would expect for the cooking equipment. Like, I think we all knew that at the very minimum there was gonna be a chef hat involved, right? One additional thing to add to professions is, and this is just kind of transmog type stuff, but this is some archaeology themed weapons. There was also a Bluepost this past week regarding the dragon riding and Dracthyr, saying that the soar for Dracthyr will have their maximum speed reduced. Right now it's roughly 930. It's going to go to 640. We also found out that in Dragonflight, the Barbershop is going to be free of cost. I definitely wonder if that has anything to do with the massive amount of customizations there is for the Dracthyr. I would love to see the other races get some changes as well, because it is kind of crazy. I know Dracthyr is new and all that, but they have a massive amount of customizations compared to the rest of us. I personally never found the Barbershop to be very pricey. I'm pretty set on a look for a long time, so it's not like I go to the barbershop on a weekly basis or anything. So I never had a problem with the cost. But cool change. So some cool changes for warriors. It looks like the skull banner is gonna be returning. And then Odin's Fury is, a fan favorite. And that one is added into the Dragonflight Alpha build. And then also on top of those two is going to be Test of Might, which was from BFA. So pretty hype moment for warriors. I'm sure a lot are looking forward to at least one of those. Okay, so some news for paladins. There's been some feedback regarding them, so they did mention that Avenger's Shield not silencing right now is a bug in the for Dragonflight. Divine Steed has a bug that increases its cooldown by 15 seconds. Avenger's Shield is intentionally not granting holy power. Shield of Righteousness uptime will be constrained, but some defensive power will be removed, and in 2 other forms of mitigation. And then Divine Toll will likely be updated due to the removal of holy power from Avenger's Shield. Okay, so that covers our Dragonflight updates. One other thing is the Hood of Hungering Darkness is available. For those that don't know, Prime started including WoW loot, and they did all 3 of the helms, and now we're on Hood of Hungering Darkness, so you have until August 23rd to obtain that one. Okay, so for Season 4, Conduits. Conduit item levels are not increasing, meaning they will stay at a max of 278. With 278 becoming the new normal item level for Fated raids, Conduits on Fated, Normal, Heroic, and Mythic raids will drop 278. LFR will drop 265. Conduits aren't being added to the non-Shadowlands dungeon loot pools, but Tazavesh conduits will be similarly updated. The Vessel of Profound Possibilities, an item available from your Covenant vendors in Season 3 that upgrade all your conduits to item level 278, is changing. It no longer requires Season 3 endgame achievements, but is instead purchasable by all characters for Cosmic Flux. Your legendaries and crafting. Crafted Shadowlands legendaries will not increase in rank, staying at a max of rank 7 with item level 291 for the season. There is no new crafter's mark to create a single piece of improved item level gear like there have been with previous content patches. Currencies. Cosmic Flux will remain from Season 3 and won't disappear on Season rollover. A reminder that since our last post, there is now an item to transfer Cosmic Flux to other characters on your account at Quartermaster Vilo and Zereth Mortis. Sandworn Relics will be moving to Bind on Account status, but otherwise receive no updates. Unused Attendance tokens of merit from Season 3 Great Vaults will be going away upon season start, converting into gold at the rate of 1,000 gold per token. Ephemera Infused Mesh, the Season 3 socket granting item, will also cease to function on season rollover. Players with this item in their bags can sell it for 6,000 gold, the same price as the 6 tokens of merit would have been to purchase it. Tokens of merit are returning in Season 4 with a new socketer item priced at only 3 tokens to account for season length. This item works on Season 4 items from Raid, PvP, and M+. So for Mythic Plus Keystone Decay between seasons is a -3 levels, as it has been in the past seasons. For example, if your highest time key this week is an 18, you'll receive a 15 opening your vault or speaking to Tassup in Oribos when Season 4 begins. With few exceptions, old dungeon items are going to retain their original stats when scaling up to Season 4. This means that primary stats on rings from WoD, trinkets with no primary stats, the Mechagon rings, and other unique items from these dungeons will all be enabled. The intent is for this season to keep as many things from these dungeons as they were, where possible. Azerite armor from King Mechagon is removed. As some of you know, WoD had a different loot system where over 100 items were shared between all dungeons. For Season 4, Grimrail Depot and Iron Docks loot table will comprise of the items unique to those dungeons, as well as a mix of items chosen from that large shared pool to bring it in line with the other dungeons. Mythic Plus end of run items won't be capped week 1 like in previous seasons. Non-Tazavesh Shadowlands dungeons are gaining an increase in baseline item level, but these items are not upgradable with Valor. Only items from Season 4 Mythic Plus pool will be upgraded with Valor. Raiding. Mythic raiding is available on launch with no delay. Cross-realm raiding will stay on as there is no Hall of Fame for Season 4. Raid skips earned in previous seasons will work in the difficulties you unlock them for. For example, if you have Kel'Thuzad skip for Heroic Sanctum, then during weeks where Sanctum is the fated raid, you will be able to use that skip only on Heroic difficulty. Just a side note here, but I will be talking on the fated raid, and that will be coming up shortly. Castle Nathria and Sanctum of Domination now give up to 2,000 rep and the Court of Harvesters and Death Advance on all difficulties. When these raids are fated, they will drop up to 2,000 Cosmic Flux as well. Items received from fated raids will maintain their fated tag when transformed into class set armor by the Creation Catalyst, meaning they will also be upgradable via the heroic mythic upgrade currency mentioned in the original post. Okay, so for raid rewards, a lot of the talk is the hunter bow, so I am just going to screenshot this and you can pause and check it out. So that is your basics for Season 4. And on screen right now are all the PvP class changes that will be in effect for Season 4. Okay, so last week I had gone over the fated raids and the schedule rotation that we're gonna be going through, and so we got a little more info, and this one has caused a stir in the community. So this is the achievement. So the achievement Fates of the Shadowlands raids. It says complete all 3 fated raids in Shadowlands Season 4. As you can see, the mount reward is Jigglesworth Senior, which is the Slime Cat. So the Slime Cat is one of the many mounts people have been waiting for. If you're new to Shadowlands, this part you wouldn't know, but here's a post. This was done before Shadowlands, and it was a poll, and everyone voted on their favorite mount. Whichever one won in the poll was the free one. Well, that free one for us ended up being Wandering Ancient. You can see in the list there's actually 5 mounts there. The toughest part back then about this poll was that we didn't really know what they were gonna look like. There was some concept art out there, but I'll tell you, just from seeing the Mage Tower mount, Wandering Ancient, and now Slime Cat, it looks nothing like the concept art looked like. Now, I'll totally admit, and this is probably going to sound pretty shocking as a Druid main of 18 years, but I didn't vote on that tree mount. The one I liked the best was the Soaring Spell Tomb mount. Yeah, I really liked the idea of the book. I'm a reader, so like to have a book mount was so cool. That's the one I voted on, and I gotta say, I wish it won because I really don't want to do all those Mage Tower challenges just to get a book mount. But I still feel like even although people complain about the tree winning because everyone wants, the one they wanted the most to have won, I think the tree was the best one to win because it is the most unique, right? The book mount was unique, but the thing that makes the tree unique, and maybe you don't know this, maybe you're like me and like hop on a mount once and then never look at it again, right? But the tree changes color in seasons. And so I thought that was really unique. And I feel like that alone kind of makes it worth being the winning mount. So with that said, in this list, you can see that there is 5 mounts. We have the Wandering Ancient, we have the Soaring Spell Tomb, and we're now going to have the Slime Cat. And that still leaves 2 left. I always figured Nerubian Swarmer would come to us around the time Wrath Classic releases. I think that is likely the time we'd see something involving that one. And then the Caterpillar, I don't know, maybe through the pre-patch or something. So I just thought I would let maybe some of you guys that weren't around for the voting just know that this is the list, and there's actually still 2 more mounts coming our way at some point. Okay, so we sidetracked a bit there. Let's get back on topic. Slime Cat, how do you get it? Where can you not get it? And all that. So the Slime Cat mount. So, for starters, the fact that anyone thought this would be achievable on LFR is kind of funny. There has never been a meta mount achievement through this mode. The winning vote was the free one. The rest will be challenges. The Mage Tower one is a challenge, and it makes sense for this one to be, more of a challenge as well. Although normal will be pretty easy. So it's a challenge because you have to find people or work with your guild. However, with that said, the one part I don't agree with is how limited it is to have put this into the short season. And we still have the pre-patch coming as well. It's going to be a very limited time to actually get this guy. So for me, I'm okay with the challenge. I just hope that there's a decent amount of time. Like now, I'm actually hoping that Dragonflight isn't coming out for a while, because what if something happens? What if I get busy one week and I have to miss that week? The stir up in the community has been the fact that this guy isn't available on LFR. And I think this is one of the biggest issues with data mining, is that it leads people to believe it could be done on LFR due to people saying all difficulties. Meanwhile, Blizzard never confirmed that. However, I do remember back then there were people talking about how Icy Veins had mentioned LFR. And I think this is why it's important that you make sure your info comes straight from Blizzard. Icy Veins is not Blizzard. So, yeah, there was no reason to ever believe that. All in all, I think this misunderstanding was the community hoping for it. Nowhere is there any facts on this. So I think the community was hoping for it, and someone probably said it, and it traveled through the waves of probably Twitter, and people actually started believing it. Blizzard has always thought of LFR to not have a difficulty, so when they say something can be done on all difficulties, and it includes a mount, they're not really thinking about LFR. I feel like LFR is kind of like when you play a game and there's a tutorial, that's LFR, you know? It's not a difficulty, it's just there to kind of show you what the raid looks like, more or less. But aside from that, yeah, when they talk about all difficulties, the lowest difficulty they're thinking about in their head is normal. The only achievements that have ever really been able to be done on LFR have been just single kills. And, unless I missed something in the notes, there is no faded on LFR. It's only normal, heroic, and mythic. So there's absolutely no way you could have ever earned it on LFR. And even if you could have somehow, the whole point of Faded is that there's going to be an extra difficulty level to it. And yeah, so it wouldn't even feel like the bosses on LFR right now. It would probably feel more like normal, which isn't hard, but, in a queued group of a bunch of people who have no idea what they're doing, yeah, that could be a little tough. You'd have a lot of people probably leaving. I know a lot of people like to use the Core Hound as an example, which was the 10th anniversary mount. But I think that's a horrible example because that was an anniversary thing. That would be like using any other anniversary type mount. There was that other one, what was it, the World Breaker or something like that, where you went into different versions of raids through the queues too. And yeah, I think that doesn't qualify as a good reasoning because it was an anniversary mount. The time limited stuff can be rough, I try to talk to you guys as understanding how some of you guys are like, because I play the game all the time. Like, this isn't going to be a problem. It's not too tough for me to go into a raid every week, right? But not everyone has the lifestyle I have, and I didn't always have this lifestyle. There was a time where I was a single mom and didn't have time to play the game all the time. I was working 2 jobs, yeah, my life is a little simpler nowadays. And, kids are grown up and all that. And I have the time to be able to kind of do what I want, right? And so I try to think back on, how I was in the earlier days of WoW. And something like a challenge like this, I probably would easily missed out on just because of life, So I think it is sometimes tough for the time limited stuff. But then on the other side of things, I guess it really helps to get your mindset out of the must have absolutely everything in the game. And I know that's a lot coming from someone who's a transmog farmer, mount farmer, achievement farmer and all. But like I mentioned in last week's video, Shadowlands is the expansion that taught me that I don't need everything. And I stepped back from, the FOMO life, I guess we'll call it, the, must have absolutely every new thing that comes out. But then again, if you got the time to dedicate, then you got no worries. But I do know that there's probably a lot of you guys that may just not have the time, and that's why LFR benefits you, and that's why I try not to shit on LFR too much, because I know that it is good for those people that don't have a chance to get into those raids. With that said, obviously, you've got no choice. If you want this mount, you gotta raid at least normal, and as someone who has both pugged out raids and raided with guilds, normal is the easy one to pug out. Heroic and mythic is where it kind of gets tough to get a good pug group that's going to last you the entire way. But normal, you should have no problem. So my suggestion is just get into the pre-mades, try not to miss a week, and find some people everyone's going to want to do this, like, at least at the beginning. And being that it's time limited, you're probably never going to have a problem getting into a group at all throughout the whole time, as long as you're geared. So make sure you're getting geared up so that you can get into those groups. I would be surprised if you put in the work to get into those normal groups and didn't succeed. I would be surprised, because normal is just a little tougher than LFR, really. It's not that much tougher. And lastly, before we end this conversation, if you guys want me to set up a community group for us to do these Fated raids, let me know. Normal is easy. We could easily set up a normal raid group. I'm sure we have enough people to pull off tanks, heals, and DPS, and we're still a small community, but we've definitely grown. I have put together raid community events for us in the past, so like, yeah. So just let me know, and we could definitely do that. And then that would help you guys out that maybe are thinking you might not be able to pull this off. We'll just pick a day that works for everyone, and we can just go do it, and everyone gets their mount. And speaking of, I think I forgot to show you guys this. So this is what you need to do for each reward. So you can see that the mount is on normal, the title is on heroic, and the portals is for mythic. I don't really care about the portals, but I definitely want the title and the mount. Okay, so that concludes the news. On to accomplishments. So accomplishments is pretty minimal. The experience buff was still going on this past week, so I took huge advantage. Well, as much as I could. I didn't actually play for 3 of those days because it was so unbelievably hot that I couldn't even bear to be like near my computer. I shut down my computer and, went downstairs, played some console, and yeah. So 3 of the days didn't really get anything done. But I did get my Magyar Orc leveled, and I now have the heritage set for that character. And on Saturday night, I finished the Mechanome. So the Mechanome has the heritage set now too. So that's 2 more achievements out of the way. It's Sunday. I always record these on Sunday. So I still have today and tomorrow to get another character dealt with. And I chose my Zandalari because my Zandalari is a warrior, and I've always kind of, out of all classes, I feel like the warrior's kind of my character I least like to level, so I chose that. So that's why I got done. So 2 characters. I do believe I'll probably get the third, the Zandalari, up to par in the heritage set acquired, which means that if I accomplish that, I will be down to 2 allied races, so not bad. Yeah, definitely focus the ally races through this buff. And if it hadn't been for the heat, I would have gotten them all, because, 2 would have, I'm casually leveling with the buff. I'm not, speeding through it. So, 2 would have been, easily the days I was hanging downstairs. Yeah. I don't plan on stopping, though. I want those other 2 dealt with before Dragonflight shows up. So even with that experience buff gone, I'm still gonna level them, because it's only 2 of them left. Not a big deal. It won't take long. And I'm not leveling them all to max anyway. They're just gonna be mount farmers, When I feel like it, I'll put some remaining levels on them, but right now the focus is just the achievement, their heritage set, and then they go and park out at one of my mount farms. And before I end this video, one last thing I wanted to mention has to do with Classic, And that is that the Wrath of the Lich King Classic got a release date. Last week, we were kind of teased with it, and then they yanked it, so I didn't want to actually throw it into a video, but I did talk about it on the community posts. That ended up being real. They just didn't want to announce it as early as it accidentally ended up on their Blizzard page. Obviously, someone clicked a button a little too early, but the official date is September 26th, and it will start up at 3 p.m. Pacific globally. So that is getting close, and because that is getting close, there's currently a 50% experience buff in Classic right now. And that is all I have for you guys this week. So have a great one. Have fun in Season 4. And we'll see you in the next one. Bye, guys.